James Melendez. These two wines are next from the producer Quivira. They're Dry Creek Valley Zinfandels. One's called Anderson Ranch and the other's called Wild Boar. They're 2019 vintages. I'll give you my thoughts, impressions, and point score on each of these wines. I enjoy in the fall time to have a glass of Zinfandel, especially with a fantastic meal. I'm thinking Thanksgiving. So I definitely include Gamay wines, Beaujolais wines, but also Zinfandel. I think it's a perfect pairing for many of the autumnal flavors on your dinner table. So here we go with the wine. Now this wine is going to be reviewed first. This is 100% Zinfandel Anderson Ranch, and this is a 14.5% ABV wine. The case production is 771 cases. And this is CCOF certified, meaning that the fruit is organic. And here's a back label for you to look at here. And so I think these are two different separate wines altogether. And I think that's the beauty of this producer. And so just because a producer has two Zinfandels does not mean they're the same exact wines. They're different wines. Now, Hugh Chappell is a winemaker whom I've sat down several times with and enjoy his winemaking style, his philosophy, and such a superb individual. So producers sometimes, especially in California, especially if it's an older site, will use things like Alicante Boucher, Petit Syrah, and Carignan, and even other varieties. Now, this is a wine that's really going to be focused on 100% Zinfandel, and I definitely appreciate that because you see it in the color. The expression of the wine itself is definitely evident of that 100% characterized Zinfandel wine. So it's a medium garnet colorization. Cathedral stained glass window. It's a bit vitreous, which I enjoy. So this wine is presented with notes of red and black bramble, as well as dark cherry spices, dried herbs, as well as red flowers. Next is the palate characterization. Very beautiful snapshot of fresh red fruit, raspberry cherry notes, as well as autumnal simmering spices, pepper, clove, and a hint of wild sage. It's a really beautiful wine. This is 94 points out of 100 points. Next is the Wild Boar wine. So as I mentioned earlier, that all Zinfandels, you could have several Zinfandels from a producer and they're all going to characterize differently. It's a reason for making them. It's going to have a little slightly different fruit composition. So 63% of it is coming from the Anderson Ranch, 37% from the Wine Creek Ranch. And so this is 85% Zinfandel, 15% Petit Syrah. This is a 14.9% ABV, totally within check, right? And when I think of producers like Hugh Chappell, I think it's really thinking about the sites, what they produce, and how this wine is going to characterize. And I think it's fitting with the house as well. This is also CCOF, that's the entire house. And I appreciate that because I really like organic fruit being cultivated and produced. And I think it's a nice thing for us and the planet and so forth. So when I think of this wine, first of all, the fruit is picked a little bit later ripening in terms of pick. So it's between the third and fifth pickings. And so this wine, I think, is representative of giving that full characterization. Sometimes producers often will go by schedule. I think that's the old days. I think the new days, people are much more picking on flavor and the appropriateness of the fruit to be vinified. And I think that's what is occurring today in many wines that I'm tasting. So what I love about the nose on this very super fresh wine, I'm getting a character of raspberry, strawberry, spice core, autumnal herbs, as well as red floral, a bit of graphite note, and autumnal herbs. And next, the palate characterization. Slightly different experience in terms of the palate on this. I'm getting more of a black cherry character versus the red fruit. Ground clove notes, simmering spices, as well as tarragon and floral notation. This is a beautiful wine of 94 points out of 100 points. A very reliable, responsive, responsible producer. Love the wines that Quivira does produce. And be sure to give a like, subscribe to this channel. You'll find me in between videos on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, WordPress, and Tumblr. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you watching. Share this video and suggest this for your Thanksgiving to one of your friends or family members, and also pick up some bottles yourself. You'll find information down below on this producer, and I will see you very soon in the next video review. Santé.